Hey everyone, welcome back to another Amber Collection review. Today we're taking a look at the Lost World Velociraptor and Ray Arnold. Yeah, I know these figures have been out for a while and I actually had no intention of picking them up. I like the Amber Collection line, I don't love it, and I'm just kind of sick of all the Raptors. But Target had a nice 50% off sale, and if you dangle that offer in front of my face, I will bite. So I ended up grabbing these two figures for $25 total, which is less than what the Velociraptor regularly retails for. So my issue with the Amber Collection is I kind of feel like Mattel kind of backed themselves up into a corner. All the dinosaurs in the line so far have been in the $30 price point, and that kind of limits to small species and the mid-sized species, and I just don't think we're ever going to see any large articulated dinosaurs in the line. I know a lot of people say the Colossal Indominus Rex and T-Rex scale with the line, but the whole point of the Amber Collection is to have, figures with a lot of articulation. Those colossal ones just have basic articulation. So with those current constraints on the line, I don't see a lot of longevity for it unless Mattel has some larger figures planned. Maybe they'll release some online only, like maybe through Mattel Creations, but right now it just looks like we're stuck with mid-size and smaller species. So enough about my whining. Let's take a look at the packaging before we crack these figures open. So let's first take a look at the packaging for John Raymond Arnold, a really nice Samuel L. Jackson figure. You got his name on the bottom, the Mattel logo done in gray in the bottom corner. He comes with a lot of great accessories, his headset, severed arm, which is absolutely brilliant, a couple pairs of hands, and his computer. You got the Amber Collection logo up here. Turn the box around, you got a picture of Sam Jackson on the back, and then you have a little paragraph explaining who Ray Arnold is, the head computer technician at Jurassic Park. John Raymond Ray Arnold reluctantly shuts down the park's power system in an effort to undo Dennis Nedry's destructive and dangerous programming. After initiating the reboot, Arnold's decision to check the circuit breaker gets wildly out of hand. Pretty nice little joke right there. And next, let's take a look at the Lost World Velociraptor. You got the Mattel logo down here. Tells you what movie it's from. Amber Collection logo up here. And then turning the box around, you got a nice picture of the Lost World Velociraptor. And then a little can't talk today, explanation. Leaping and ready to attack, the Velociraptor is a shrewd and crafty carnivore. While wreaking havoc on Dr. Ian Malcolm and other unwanted visitors to Isla Sorna, the Velociraptor's strength and smarts are no match against a brave and skilled gymnast. Still one of my least favorite scenes in the movie. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack these figures open and take a closer look. So let's start with a nice 360-degree view of these two figures. Let's start with Ray Arnold. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Probably the best human figure in the line so far. That likeness looks just like Sam Jackson did in 1993. The figure has great articulation. Love all the accessories come on it. The paint job is really well done. Just a great 6-inch figure all around. Now for the Lost World Velociraptor, as much as I kind of get sick of all these Raptors getting released in the line, there's no denying that the Raptor figure is a great toy. Has tons of awesome posability. They're really fun to play with. Now, as far as it being a Lost World Velociraptor, it does a decent job. The biggest issue is the shape of the head. Mattel just uses the same Raptor mold over and over again for all the different variations of the Raptors. The mold is based off blue. You can tell by the shape of the head and the little osteoderms on the neck region. It'd be nice if this went back and resculpt the head at least. I don't even really care about the neck. The Lost World Velociraptor has a slightly different head, and it's just missing some paint apps at the end of the nose from really putting it into a very screen-accurate version of that Raptor. But other than that, it's a decent attempt at it. Alright, let's just do a couple quick measurements. Ray Arnold stands 6.5 inches tall. The Velociraptor about 5.5 inches. And this figure is 12 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail. So the Jurassic Park Velociraptors are estimated between 9 and 13 feet long. So I'll put this figure somewhere in the 1.9 to the 1.13 scale range. The Amber Collection is meant to be around 1.12 scale, so it does fit into that scale range. I always felt the Lost World Velociraptors looked a little bit smaller than the Jurassic Park 1 Raptors, but still, this Raptor does look really nice next to Ray Arnold. Alright, first up, let's take a closer look at Ray Arnold. I have to say, I think this is the nicest looking human figure so far in the Amber Collection. That is a fantastic looking Samuel L. Jackson likeness. Let's take a nice closer look at that head sculpt. Really, really well done. Love the glasses on there. Even the size of the glasses are painted. The hair's done really well. And if you turn around and look at the back of his head, he does have a bald spot, and that is done real nice. Going down to his lab coat, you can see there's a little bit of a wash on there to add a little bit more depth instead of making it look plain white. Going down to his pocket, you can see a couple pens and the Jurassic Park logo. His tie is nicely done. He has a nice striped shirt underneath the lab coat. Going down to the arms, you can see his hands are also nicely sculpted. Going down to the pants, you can see the belt buckle is painted in silver, but it's covered up by the tie. His pants are done in a nice gray color. They also have a nice wash over them to bring out all that detail. Really nice detail. Black shoes, and all around, it's a really nice looking 6-inch figure. My camera does not want to focus on him for some reason. So let's go over articulation. The head can rotate side to side. It can look up a little bit. It can look down a little bit. The arm can rotate 360 degrees. You get a nice bend at the shoulder. You do have a bicep swivel. You can get almost a full bend with that elbow joint. Really nice joint on that. The hand can rotate, and there's a little bit of a hinge right there, so the hands can move forwards and backwards. You do have some torso articulation that can move side to side, and you can get a little bit of an ab crunch with that torso joint, but that lab coat kind of impedes it a little bit. You do have waist rotation. Going down to the legs can kick forwards. They can kick back just about that far. They're not impeded by the lab coat. They're just actually impeded by his butt. Hold on to your butts. And then you do have thigh rotation. Nice articulation at the knees. You get some nice bend with that. And then for the feet, you do get some side-to-side movements. Really tight on my figure. But my favorite part about this figure, it's incorporated into the articulation and with the accessory, is this arm right here can pop off. And we all know poor Mr. Arnold died trying to restart the island in the maintenance shed. I think that is a fantastic action feature. I'd love to see more dino damage applied to the human figures in the line going forward. And you do actually get his severed arm, which is a really nice looking accessory. You can see some nice gory detail in there. This is going to look great when the Amber Collection Ellie Sattler comes out. You can just drape it over her shoulder, which was a fantastic scene that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid when I saw it in theaters. The only thing that kind of bugs me about this accessory, it's just a nitpick, and I can see why Mattel didn't do it. You know, when he went to the maintenance shed, he did not have his lab coat on. It would have been nice if we got two alternate arms so we can remove the lab coat and have the striped shirt, you know, for when he goes into the maintenance shed. But that probably would have driven up the cost of the figure. But still, I am really happy with the accessory. It's a shame it doesn't plug in, but it's nice when it's hanging out of the Raptor's mouth. And all you need to do is just pop that back in, and Mr. Arnold is complete. And let's just put him down. You do get a couple more accessories besides the severed arm. You do get a couple alternate hands. To replace, you just need to pop them off and just plug these in. And then you also get his computer as I drop it, but thank God it's hollow. And this is another great accessory. Just look at all the detail on that computer screen, just like it's ripped from the movie. Absolutely fantastic looking. Like I said, it is a hollow piece of plastic, but it is really well sculpted and just a lot of attention to detail on that computer screen. And I've seen some people pick up like scale desks from Hobby Lobby and Amazon. I'm eventually going to get one and have my Ray Arnold posed at his computer desk. And the only other accessory that comes with him is his headset, and that can just fit right over his head. My hands are wicked shaky today. I drink too much coffee. I know that's my problem. But yeah, another nice accessory. So yeah, pretty good. Definitely one of the most accessories I've seen with a human figure so far, and I really hope that trend continues with later figures. Next up is the Lost World Velociraptor. I was hoping Mattel will eventually make this figure, and you know, you know me, I'm always complaining that there's too many Raptors in the line. But this was one I was looking forward to, and then when it was revealed, it just didn't look quite right to me, and I kind of passed on it. And like I said earlier in the review, I ended up grabbing this because it was 50% off, so I could not resist picking this figure up for $15. But having it in hand, I am quite pleased with it. I just wish it had a little bit more striping on the head to give it that Lost World look. It just feels like it's like one or two paint apps short from making this like a true Lost World Velociraptor. But you know, this, if you have any of the Raptors, this mold is exactly the same that we've seen like 5, 6, 7 times already. So let's zoom in. The eye is painted in gold with a black pupil. You have some nice dark markings around the eye socket, some striping on the snout. You have a nice bright orange coloration that transitions to a light cream color, especially when you get down to the tail and the underside of the neck. There's some nice detail along the lower jaw, nice scale variation, large scales lining the lips, nice pebbly textures along the neck. Now you can see these large osteoderms on the neck region right here. That's because this mold is based off Blue, which is a Jurassic World Velociraptor. I just kind of wish they would resculpt the head and neck if they're going to pump out all these different raptors, because they were different between the movies. And turn the figure over. You can see all that nice striping contrasting with that bright orange. As you go down to the tail, it tapers into a cream color. And then going down to the arms are nicely detailed, some striping on the bicep. The hand claws are painted a nice black color. You have a little bit of that cream color transitioning on the arm, and then going down to the main body, more of that fine texturing, folds and wrinkles. The thigh region has some nice scale detail, and it really feels great when you rub your finger across it. You got more folds and wrinkles around the tail base. Going down to the feet, you have those giant oversized feet, which helps greatly this, you know, for these figures to stand up, which I do appreciate. But maybe one day Mattel will release, you know, properly sized feet on their Raptors. The claws are all decked out in nice black. Turn the figure over, you can see the cream color for the belly, and there's a little bit of an orange wash on there that adds some definition. There's a hole right here for the display stand, which we'll get to in 1 minute, and you can see some more detail on the bottom of the tail. Now getting to the display stand, the new stand is clear. The older Amber Collection figures, it was yellow to look like amber, but when you plugged into the dinosaurs, it just looks like the dinosaurs were taking a giant yellow piss. So I do like that they changed the color. I think the clear looks much better, and all you need to do is just plug it into that hole. It will snap in, and it will support your figure nicely. You can get it to all different poses. You can actually even lift the feet up, and it will balance on that base. And I think those clear bases look so much better than the yellow. You know, even from a distance, it doesn't look like the figure is on the stand, and it's like great for photography. You just don't have that giant pee puddle that they're standing in anymore. Moving on to articulation, the jaw on the Velociraptor can open up quite wide. You can open up the bottom jaw, and then there's another hinge for the upper jaw to get a nice wide gape. And I never showed off the mouth when I was going over the details, but you can see some nice detail in there. There's some nice red and pink coloration, nice red wash to give it some nice detail. You have some gloss in there to give that wet look. I still don't like the way the teeth are done on these Raptors. I much liked what they showed off with the prototypes a couple years ago, and you know, hopefully one day they change the mold and they give us better looking teeth. And then you have a joint right here at the top of the neck. You get some downward and upward movement, and as well as a tiny bit of rotation. Actually, really not that much rotation. You're going to break in the figure, so please don't do that. At the base of the neck, you get some nice downward and upward movement. You can see how all those joints work together. You can rotate the head 360 degrees. Going down to the arms can swing out, they can rotate. You have a nice bend at the elbow, which also allows some rotation. You have bend at the wrist and also some rotation at the wrist. These figures are a little bit big, so sometimes they're kind of tough for me to maneuver on camera. Getting down to the legs can move backwards and forwards. There's a clicking joint right here to lock the figures back into their neutral position, which helps with stability. You have a nice bend at the knee, which can also rotate. Same thing at the ankles. You get a nice bend at the ankles. Same thing, rotate. And then getting down to the feet, you do have some ankle tiltage, and it's a little tight on mine. Now for the claw on here, this foot, the claw works really well. It goes up and down, but for some reason on this left foot, it's stuck. It feels like there's a bunch of glue in there, and every time I move the toe up, it swings back down. So that is a quality control issue. I've seen a few people that have some issues with these figures, with jaws falling off and just weak joints. This is the only quality control issue I've experienced so far on the few Amber Collection figures I have. And then going down to the tail, it's on a joint. You can rotate it side to side, swing it side to side, and there is a bendy wire in here so you could get some poses out of it. The rubber is really, really soft in the tail, and excessive play of bending these will eventually wear out the rubber, and that wire will poke through. So just be mindful of that. But all in all, a pretty cool figure. I always, as much as I hammer these Raptor figures, they're really, really fun to play around with. All right, moving on with comparisons. First up, here it is with one of the standard human figures in the line, Dennis Nedry. Those standard human figures are 3 3/4 inch, and here it is with the mainline striped Velociraptor. And here it is with a couple more human figures in the Amber Collection. Here it is with Dennis Nedry, and here it is with Ian Malcolm. And now having all 3 of these figures out here, this is what I like about the Amber Collection human figures. There's like no part sharing between any of the human figures that I've noticed so far. They're all different heights, and I think they just look absolutely great next to each other. Let me just move Ian more in the center right here, and you can see he's taller than Ray Arnold. Dennis is shorter than both of them. I really love the scale with the human figures. Can't wait to get my hands on Hammond, Ellie, and Grant. So yeah, definitely Mattel's doing a great job with these figures. It's not like Marvel Legends, where there's a lot of part sharing between the figures. So I do appreciate that. Like almost every part on here is unique. And speaking of Marvel Legends, here it is with God Emperor Doom. And here it is with the JP1 Raptor. This was the first Amber Collection Raptor release in the line. Let me just turn it to the side so you can see both of them together. This is the type of Raptor that attacked Ray Arnold in the maintenance shed, and they actually released another version of this. It just came out. I think they just started shipping from Big Bad Toy Store, and there's a slight color variation between the older Amber Collection JP1 Raptor and this newer one. It's a little bit lighter, has a little bit more striping on it. So if you want to pick up another one, to have like the 3 females from the movie, highly suggest getting that one. It had some variations instead of all of them looking the same color. And here it is with the Amber Collection Dilophosaurus, and I still say it to this day, still the best Amber Collection dinosaur released in the line so far. That was a fantastic release from Mattel. It came with a lot of great accessories, and hopefully that continues down the road. I'd love to see more accessories come with these dinosaurs. And one more Amber Collection comparison. Here it is with the Amber Collection Pteranodon. Don't worry, I will be reviewing this figure and Ian Malcolm. That'll probably be the next review up on the channel. And lastly, here's some more articulated dinosaur figures. Here it is with the Beast of the Mesozoic Pachyrhinosaurus, which is an absolute beast, and the Beast of the Mesozoic Cosmoceratops. Now, these figures are great to supplement into the main line, and some of these bigger figures, because they're supposed to be 1/18 scale, but some of them kind of clock in around that 1/13, 1/15 scale, so they can work with the Amber Collection, because I honestly don't believe that Mattel's going to do any articulated dinosaur figures that approach the size of some of these Beasts of the Mesozoic figures. So if you're looking for a little bit more variety in your articulated dinosaurs, definitely check out these figures. So final thoughts on these 2 Amber Collection releases. I absolutely love Ray Arnold. Like I said, I think he's the best human figure in the line so far. Comes with awesome accessories. His Dino Damage Arm is a fantastic addition. Tiger Stripe Raptor, it's just the same as all the other Raptors released so far. Same body, same articulation. The paint scheme is much better in hand than what I saw with the promotional images. So I am glad I picked up these 2 figures. And like I said, Target had this awesome sale weeks ago. 50% off. Grabbed them for $25 for both of them, which is less than what the Raptors cost usually retail for around $30. And yeah, I know I'm super late reviewing these. I actually started the review a couple weeks ago, and then I was on vacation last week, and I decided to take a week off from reviewing to spend some time with my wife and did some day trips and stuff. So I will be back to reviewing on my regular schedule going forward. So that would do it for the review. As always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.